Hey everyone, welcome back to Masonzero MTG. Today we're talking about the best cards for Cube from Universes Beyond Assassin's Creed. Now I know a lot of people don't like Universes Beyond sets, especially for their cubes, so let me preface this video by saying that you probably don't need to worry about the fear of missing out when it comes to this set. There are a few solid cards that I'm going to talk about today, but nothing that is likely going to be a Cube staple. The Assassin's Creed set is a bit odd overall. There's no commons, the booster packs are half-sized, and cards that seem made for disparate formats are randomly in these booster packs, and yet there are still a few cards that might be worth integrating into the average cube, so let's take a look at them. Tax Collector is one of the cards that has gotten the most buzz in the cube community, and for good reason. This 2-mana 2/2 is a great blink target for any cube that supports that kind of theme. It also serves as a control card more than a value card. Choosing Tax makes spells your opponents cast until your next turn cost 1 more, and choosing Arrest detains a creature, which essentially casts Arrest on that creature until your next turn, so it makes it unable to attack or block or to activate abilities. I think this is a fine addition to any Blink theme, and does something a little bit different than most Blink cards do, while also still being very relevant. Assassin Initiate is a 1-drop in black that gives you quite a bit of versatility. It's a vanilla 1/1 by default, but you can pay 1 mana to give it your choice of flying, death touch, or lifelink until end of turn. While activating these abilities will put you a mana behind on casting your spells each turn, it's a reliable way to get in some maybe unblockable damage, kill a big attacker or blocker, or trigger a life gain effect. This is a decent card for bridging a couple of themes in a synergistic cube, and even though it's not the most exciting, it will be playable in any black deck. And between flying and the threat of death touch, this actually works pretty well in a cube that has ninjutsu. Become Anonymous is maybe one of the weirdest cards in the set, and it's definitely not for powered cubes, but it is pretty interesting and offers a lot of decision points. It's a 4-mana blue instant. You exile a creature you control and the top 2 cards of your library, and then you cloak all 3, which is where you turn them face down, they become 2/2s with ward 2, and if they're creatures you can cast them for their casting cost. With blue's ability to easily manipulate the top of your deck, you can make sure you get some good creatures onto the battlefield that you can later turn up. This can save a creature if it's a target of a removal spell, or if it's chump blocking a big creature. Now these face down creatures do enter tapped, so you can't get surprise blockers, but this spell being an instant makes it very flexible, especially compared to the similar hide in plain sight. Basim is yet another 2-drop Dimir card trying to compete with Baleful Strix and Psychic Frog and even Lazav, Wearer of Faces. It's a 2/2 for 2, and when you cast a historic spell, you draw a card and Basim becomes unblockable. When he deals combat damage to a player, you put a +1/+1 counter on him. This is very similar to Psychic Frog in kind of how it plays out, but how good it is will depend on how many artifacts you're running and how desirable they are for blue-black. So this card isn't a slam dunk, but for the right cube, it's going to be very strong. Senu, Keen-Eyed Protector. Senu is a very interesting card, and very much hard to deal with. It's a 2/1 for 2 with flying and vigilance, so you'll probably get in some damage with it pretty easily. But you can tap it and exile it to scry 2 and gain 2 life. Then when a legendary creature you control attacks and isn't blocked, you can bring Senu back from exile attacking, then do it all again. This loop is pretty fun on its own, and I think there are enough legends played in cubes that this isn't a big ask. But there are some goofy things that you can do with this card. One Reddit comment suggested pitching this card to Solitude to clear the way for a legendary creature to attack, then immediately bringing Senu back to the battlefield attacking with that ability. And that's a lot of value for 0 mana. So those are the 5 cards I have my eye on from the Assassin's Creed set. It's a small set and a lot of the cards feel like they belong in Commander. If you have a Commander cube, maybe there are a lot more cards that appeal to you, but for normal cubes, these are the cards that look the best to me, and it seems like most people on Reddit are in agreement. If there are any other cards that you think are playable, let me know in the comments below, and I will see you in the next video.